Welcome back to Income Trading 101. Today we are going to take a look at Link. We're using the Coinbase version of this, LINKUSD. Just want to get a sense of how far back. So we see it goes back to roughly, we'll call it June of 19, early June or early July of 19. And it stayed pretty flat for a while, came down a little bit here in 2020 during the pandemic. And since then, it's been on a fairly nice up move, had a pullback, and now we've been in an even longer up move. So definitely worth taking a look at this one. Let's go ahead and start out with our moving averages. Let's get a sense of what's going on. What's going on with Link, and is this a trade that would be worth taking a look at right now? So do my usual 10, 20, 60. Get the short term. Will be green. A little bit. The medium term is gonna be in red, and we'll make the longer term, or we'll keep the longer term yellow. All right. So no surprises during up moves we've seen. We'll see the 10-day higher than the 20, and you can see since 2021 it's definitely been on a tear. And then we had this pullback back in February, big time, and we're starting to pull back from that and head higher again. Right now all three moving averages are in line, with the 10 slightly higher than the 20 and the 60, but I don't like that. If you look in the upper left hand corner, you can see that right now the 10-day average for this is 29.26. The 20 is 29.20. So that really isn't enough of a difference. This could definitely separate or really flip into a situation where the 10 goes between both moving averages, and I tend to call that congested. So let's take a look at the shorter time frames just to see what's going on. And sure enough, at the shorter time frame, you have the 10 between the 20 and the 60, just as I anticipated. Let's take a look at the 30-minute. So the 30-minute actually is all three in line. With the 30-minute bars, this downward trend has already triggered both the crossover of the 10 and the 20, as well as a crossover of the 60 and 20. So as of right now, they are in line and appearing to head lower with the 30-minute. And just to complete it with the 15-minute, clearly when you take it this slow and you have that bit of a pullback, it's going to show a downward trend. So interesting. Let's keep that all in mind. We'll take it back to the 1 day. We're going to toss in a little bit of a MACD. Get rid of our other moving averages. And there are ways to trade these both together. But for the purposes of these videos, I like to speak of them separately. So the MACD is very sensitive to trends, meaning when you have a trend going on, whether it's a slow trend or a longer term trend, it gets a little sensitive and can end up giving what I would call false or less clear signals. So with the price still going up, you had this crossover here that happened back in February, but we never crossed into negative territory. We never went into the oversold category. And so it's just sort of oscillating above the zero line. I don't like that because it's as inconclusive as having the moving averages out of order. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we change the time frames. So on the 1 hour, we have a clear crossover, and the MACD line has actually gone negative, but the signal line, the red line, has not followed. And again, if you're not familiar with these indicators, feel free to watch my How to Trade Stock with Technical Analysis. It applies to more than just stock. I just created a video that would be a great explainer, an explainer for the indicators that I use, the moving average, the MACD line, and the Fibonacci analysis. You can find that in my videos. All right. But you can see how even here, there's this little crossover that pulled higher. I want to be very cautious just to make sure I don't end up in a scenario that's going to cost me money. Now here, if you look, we have both the signal and the MACD line below, and this is the 30-minute. They both are in the oversold category, but that doesn't mean it's time to buy yet. In fact, I'm assuming this, given the moving averages, that this downward motion may actually continue a little bit more. Let's just take a look at the 15-minute. I imagine it's just sort of more of the same. And that's headed lower and lower, which is deeper into the oversold category. But still, until there's a strong cross of both the red and the blue, the MACD and the signal line, and it goes back towards the positive part, I'm really not that interested in buying because I've just seen these signals give signals or less conclusive signals, and you get antsy and you buy them, and then you look at it the next way and the signal self-corrects and you wonder what happened. So another good thing, if you're using charting tools, is when you're using these indicators to make a trade, definitely take a snapshot so that you can always learn from both successes and mistakes. So you take if I were placing this trade right now, let's say I decided to short Link. Well, you can't short Link, but let's say I was waiting for an opportunity to buy Link. I would probably take a snapshot, a screenshot of this image before I go and buy it, just so that I know and remember clearly what the chart looked like, and then I can look back and say, hey, this one made me a ton of money or this one lost me money. But either way, I end up learning from there's growth. You just want to make sure that you keep learning. So let's go ahead, and even though I normally would say, hey, there's no reason to do a Fibonacci analysis, I just want to do a really kind of quick one, quick and dirty. We're going to go from this bottom of the trend to where we are, the most recent high, and just see where we are with regards to Fibonacci analysis. So looks like we did reach the 38.2. I can't say that this played any real support or resistance, but prices went a little bit below, and actually in one day we did touch the 50%, and then it popped on. It bounced back a little higher. I'm gonna take this down to the 1 hour and just see if there's anything I'm missing because I'm using daily data. Also just gives you a better view. So maybe, just maybe that 38.2% retracement did play, like here you can see that it actually did play some support. It tried to play support here, but then we dropped below. Okay, that's really quite interesting. Pull this on out. I'm gonna go back to the daily. And that's a little too tight, so let's stretch it out so we can see it. All right. Ultimately, I mean, this product Link is in between right now. I don't see a true buy signal, and if you take it to shorter time frames, you're going to see a sell signal on some of this. Now, obviously, you can't short it, but definitely worth noting where the stock is right now. Let's do a little channel. You guys know that I like creating these channels. Again, it's just another thing that helps you sort of see what all is going on in your stocks, so, or in your cryptocurrency. So yeah, so in that scenario we've got almost all that move. So even though we have a pullback, I think it's important, we have a pullback on the tighter time frames, the shorter time frames. It's important to note that there is a little bit of a uptrend that's been starting since March, beginning of March, or really since, we'll just call it late February. And I like it because it is the continuation of another significant uptrend. So with that being the case, it's hard for me to imagine looking for anything other than a buy signal in this. The reason why is you don't want to fight the strength. I say work with strength. There are times where I don't mind shorting or looking to sell strength, but this is not necessarily one of those times, nor is it the right asset class for that. Selling strength here without having the other financial instruments that you have in the stock market, like liquid option markets and whatnot, is really not as I think it's not as profitable. I'm more interested in identifying strength and staying on the side of the trend. So what I would probably do in this scenario is start to wait. I imagine if prices move the way they've been, that the 15-day is going to start to look at some point like a buy. The 15-minute, I'm sorry, not the 15-day, the 15-minute. I probably, if you're just starting out with this position, I'm not certain that I would go ahead and dive in, although it's had two nice up days in a row. And you can see even it did have a little more than a week of down movement, but still here we are within this bit of a upward trend. So until we break that trend, I don't think it's I would not break I would not just sell or break this cycle to look for price movements going down. I would expect at some point, probably sometime soon, that we will go from 29 and go ahead and try and break this $36 level that seemed to play a little bit of resistance earlier. So that wouldn't be a bad move to pick up as well. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have any comments, feel free to leave them. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I'm growing my subscriber base, and I'm enjoying making these videos for you each day. So if you just subscribe, it really does help me out. And that's it. Hey, you guys have a great day and happy trading. So long.